welcome to another episode of Trying Success here on the Old Fashioned Health Network. Good health inside and out. See the sign right there, y'all? Can you see my sign? My video can't see my sign. What do you mean you can't see my sign? Okay, don't worry about the sign. If you can't see the sign, you know, I try to promote the main, you know, the main network of the show. Right. I don't want to get fired, rolled up, you know, for not trying to promote the actual network. So you got me now? I do a lot of talking when I'm talking on the podcast. I'm maybe talking to everybody out there. There's only like a couple people out there. Right. I'm just doing a lot of talk. So I got a special guest on the show today. We have Justin here, and I actually met Justin on social media. So what I'm doing now is I'm running this season of getting really good content providers on my show. You know, and you have some amazing stuff that you're doing. I remember the show you did. You interviewed this guy that was a vegan. It was a health guy. Yeah, Dimitro. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh, this is a good show. And the questions you asked and everything, he was trying to do his like Oprah spin and everything, but it was cool. You know, yeah. But yeah, Justin, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate you for being a guest on the show.
Appreciate it.
And like I've been eating apples the early day. But anyway, thank you for being a guest on the show. So just get this out the way. Justin went to Tennessee State, right?
Yes, sir. Tennessee State.
Here we go. Y'all know I went to Jackson State, so I just want to get this all out the way now so we can just call a truce, right? Let's try to get through this interview, you know what I'm saying? Don't be bringing up your band and all that kind of stuff, you know, because, you know, it ain't the same as, you know.
Saturday you'll be.
Yeah, okay. And then, you know, and look, he even, he has a guest that he brought in the studio with him, and they tried to shout out Georgia State. I was like, really? That's what we doing today? You know what I'm saying? So... Thank you so much for coming, man. I really appreciate you. Please tell the audience something about you, man.
So, Justin McKinnie, born and raised DeKalb County, Georgia. Okay. Went to Tennessee State, majored in agriculture sciences, concentration in biotechnology.
Okay.
Still working agriculture, and the main mission behind Hero Techniques and what we do is, what it started off was behind agriculture STEM education. Mm-hmm. So just really we started off just going to a lot of schools and just talking to a lot of the kids about just different STEM careers in agriculture. Just letting them know it's a lot of money in that space, and
very viable, actually.
Yeah, and then, you know, science, and I mean the whole STEM field is just, you know, a lot of money in general. So you combine the two, it's a win-win situation. And you know, a lot of companies are looking for, especially minorities in space, and especially African Americans. So, so that really kind of fueled me to start Hero Techniques and do that. And so that's, you know, kind of what got us here. And I haven't looked back since. So.
Okay, you know, so that's agriculture, right?
Yeah.
Most of it. You know, for some reason, I've never understood how they're looking for more African American or people of color to do agriculture, when we at one point were the people that were doing more agriculture than anybody. Right. I'm like, how did that happen? Do we just like, we don't have a need to plant a garden anymore or something? What's going on with that? Or do we just not everything? We just feel like it ain't a need for the garden. What's going on with that?
A lot of us moved into the inner cities, so it was no need for, you know, the ability to be able to grow, and there really wasn't any space.
Okay.
So ended up going to supermarkets and, you know, fast food restaurants, what you see.
Okay.
And ended up with create today a lot of these food deserts where it's nothing but McDonald's, Popeyes,
Yep.
You know, Chick-fil-A on every corner. And so that's a term that we use as food deserts when it's, you know, when you're not in a certain radius of any healthy food options.
Right.
And so that's part of the thing that I want to try and change too in the community is, you know, let's build some. If they're not urban gardens, let's build some black markets where, you know, where we can just go, and different people who have these fresh food farmer market styles. Mm-hmm. Let's bring those into a big public open place for everybody to be able to you know, kind of reap the benefits of. And then if not that, then, you know, let's bring in the vegan restaurants like Slutty Vegan and you know, like all those different type of places like those.
Are you vegan?
Nah, I'm not.
You working
vegan.
on it? You scared? You don't want to be vegan?
I need some I need some help.
Bacon. So do you want to be vegan, or you
I mean,
you ain't just ready for
I admire vegans, but
can't get rid of that chicken.
10-piece
lemon pepper with fries.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
The food too good.
So you know what? Being vegan is really, so a lot of times people think being vegan costs too much. Yeah, but actually it doesn't cost that much, because when you eat healthy, you eat less because your body is getting the nutrition that it needs, so you don't feel like you need, like we usually fill our plate up and get a 20-piece, when if you eat healthy, it just doesn't require, your body's like, okay, I'm full, I don't want anything else. But so then therefore you're not buying as much food.
I heard.
So you really don't, so that's the misnomer about now. Of course you go to Whole Foods and places like that, it's a little expensive, but if you're only spending about $50 or $75 for groceries for the week, and you're getting beans and legumes and, you know, all that kind of food, then you don't necessarily need, you get used to not having to have all that kind of food. Like a lot of times I make, you can use mushrooms to get your that meat texture that you like. Really? Yeah. So, but you had, so listen, my page, my Instagram page for the food. So you met me on Trying. That was Trying Success, which is my Instagram page. Yep. But if you go to Alvin Eats Healthy, all that food you see on there, I cooked it.
Wow, really?
I can do that.
I think I seen some of the pictures you posted. Yeah, and tagged in there. I
can do that. That is me. I love to cook, and so the garden for me is important. I like the whole agriculture thing, because I'm really big on like mushrooms and potatoes and beans and peas and stuff like that. Although I live in the inner city, I don't have a place to put a garden. I think they probably would put me out if I put a garden on my balcony.
They got a lot in ag tech. A lot of the new trending technology is for a lot of those hydroponic systems where you can grow them in urban areas on top of roofs and all that kind of stuff. So so that's definitely something that's, you know, next 10 to 15 years would be a common trend. So
tell me about, so the other thing that caught my attention, besides when you were interviewing the healthy guy, is the thing you were doing with, you mentioned something on Instagram about how you into reading now, right? Yeah. So what's one of your favorite books you read? And then we could talk about the organization some of the organization that you were trying to spear up or doing right now. But what is your favorite book that you kind of reading right now? Or that you have read already?
I definitely would say one of my favorites that I read was Bet on Yourself by Dr. Bernard Hodges. Okay. And he actually is a veterinarian that went to Fort Valley State. Okay. And
what's the name of it?
Bet on Yourself.
Okay. Bet on Yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean,
it's really good.
He's what I would call an everyday millionaire. Somebody you wouldn't expect. You see him, probably you pass right by him, but he's got a whole feature and a show on National Geographic. Okay. And I mean, he went right to HBCU right out in Waycross, Georgia. And so it's like, you know, seeing somebody like that and then also reading his book, it was inspirational. He talked a lot about, you know, kind of how he did it step by step through real estate, stocks, and veterinary school. And then the other one, of course, is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I knew you was gonna say everybody goes to Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's like, you know, it's good. I like the book. Yeah. I like the book. But I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite books. Oh God! So I have a couple. I like reading a lot too. And you try to figure out how I got time to do all this reading. But I'm reading. I hate to even bring this up in front of my videographer because they already think I'm getting no rest. But I'm actually reading like two books at the same time. And the only reason why I'm reading two at the same time because there's another show on this network called Funk Era, and so we got this thing. We reading a book, and then we kind of discuss it, like what we read, and then the books that I just like pick up and randomly read. I like my favorite book was probably I got a couple of them, but I don't know if you read this book called The Shack. But it is good. Oh, really? It is good. So it kind of has a biblical feel to it, so to speak, but not really. Okay. But basically, this book, I'm just give you the short version. This book is about a man and his wife and kids. They had gone on a camping trip. The daughter got murdered on the camping trip. But the wife and the father used to have this little nickname that they would call God. And I can't remember the nickname they would call God. That's what they would always use all the time. Where after the trip was over and they came home and was all upset, a couple of weeks later, he got a letter in the mail from the nickname that they called God. I think they called it, I can't remember the name, but he got this letter saying, if you want to know what happened to your daughter, come back to the shack. It was so good. Anyway, long story short, he goes back to the shack. He sends his wife somewhere, And then he brings, he sends his wife, don't tell his wife about these letters he's getting because he thinks somebody's playing a cruel joke on her.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like upset, but he sends his wife and stuff off to just to go vacation. And he told his best friend that he was going to go on this trip. He wanted to find out who's sending this stuff saying, if you want to know how your daughter passed away. Right. He gets to the cabin and he meets God. And God is a black woman. It is good, y'all. Have you seen? You read the book? It is so good.
Man,
it is so good.
That sounds crazy.
It's good. And she just really just lays it. And at the end, his life is like so much better. You know, it's a black woman can always get you together, right?
Yeah.
Always get you together. We're going to call her the Stacey Abrams. It was really a good book. It's called The Shack. Make sure you put that on your list.
Okay.
It's good. Now, there's other books
Definitely.
we could talk about, but that's one of my favorite because it motivates you and it inspires you to get through hard times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was really good. She really talks to him like a black woman would do, like, you know, how to get.
That sounds
get
intense.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's good. It's not boring. Because when I got the book, I read it I had gone out to L.A. I had finished the book by the time I got to Atlanta to land. That book was so good.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, I was walking to get to my seat, and this lady said, "That's a really good book. You're not gonna be able to put it down."
Oh, wow.
And you know, from Atlanta, it's like a 3.5 hour flight, a 3 hour flight.
Oh, okay.
L.A., I think, because of the time difference.
Oh, right.
Like 2 hours and some change. But by the time that plane, I was almost finished with my book. It's good. Please get that book. It's called The Shack.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
I'll definitely have to.
Okay, so tell us about a couple of these organizations and things that you're doing right now with I'm going to let you tell them.
All right. So what we just ended up finishing doing was our what we call Read More Books campaign.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so we collected 300 plus books, and we donated them to the Boys and Girls Club out here in the metropolitan area.
Okay.
And then we also donated some to a couple of foster home organizations.
Okay.
So for them to distribute to different foster children and different families. And then a couple of them, a couple of different foster home organizations, we actually helped them to start libraries in their actual facilities. So that was an awesome experience. And we just reached out to everybody, you know, on Instagram and on our social medias, and just got people to start sending books. And we got a P.O. box, and everybody started sending in. It was an awesome experience. And then we got a donation from DeKalb County Libraries, actually, for some books.
Okay.
And so into the partnership deal, we're actually supposed to be working with DeKalb County Libraries coming up for some featured STEM activities. Okay. Working with them. So once they're able to start opening up the libraries, and after all the voting polls and stuff is kind of concludes, because I think they got one more here on March the 11th.
Election?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, then we'll be able to kind of get back into the library locations, and we'll be able to start that partnership. And then we're also looking to work with the YPD, which is the Youth Pastoral Development for the churches. Yeah, I was struggling with it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what is it? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I was struggling earlier. But that's through the churches and stuff. And so we're looking to get into working with them. And then our next thing that we'll probably end up doing once the school year kind of starts and kind of ends in May, we'll be looking to give away 3 or 4 scholarships. Haven't really decided on the number, but we're going to kind of section it off between maybe one person that's going to the illustrious Tennessee State.
Oh, you just couldn't leave it open to HBCU?
I couldn't.
So you're just going to earmark it has to be for Tennessee State?
Yeah, they got to be going to Tennessee State. They'll get a little book scholarship, just a little something to help. Okay. And then I was thinking about maybe doing one for, a little entrepreneur or somebody who's coming straight out of.
So this you putting this together?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This is Hero Techniques, our organization. So we'll be putting it together and.
So I have a question. If someone also does the same thing you're doing, like you're doing for Tennessee State, and they say, okay, but you got to send them to Jackson State, and here's the money, would you make sure that they went to Jackson State? I mean, what do you mean? If you send you some money, you can't make sure that the only way they can get this money is that they're attending the illustrious Jackson State.
I just need to see an acceptance letter and
I mean, it's the same. It's going to be the same requirements that you're going to require Tennessee State.
True.
Oh God, y'all just hate on us so bad. You know, I'm telling you, is it because we got Deion Sanders? Are y'all still like a little salty about that?
Man. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Y'all got to win some games for me to be.
We just won some games. We just beat Grambling, and we beating everybody. We get to y'all some.
Yeah, we need Deion to come to real TSU, but it's all right. It's all right. I won't hold it against y'all. But we I think I'll probably try and line that one up with my advisor.
Okay.
Just to kind of ensure, that they actually going to TSU. But think about doing one for an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Somebody coming out of high school looking to start a business, and then maybe one for somebody who's not necessarily going to a 4-year school, maybe somebody going to a technical school or something.
Right. Okay.
Just trying to encourage everybody, that if you coming out, school is not for everybody. So, we don't want you to feel like, hey, you're obligated to do this. Your path might not be that. So we just want to encourage people on their path.
Okay. All right. So those are 2 organizations that you have now. Okay. All right. So that's what got me when I heard you talking about reading a book. And he owns podcast talking about reading a book. I was like, wow, that's different. It wasn't no rap music, little Nicki dropping it, like none of that kind of thing. It's like education is fundamental.
Nah, yeah.
That was good though. That was good. We do need more of that. I mean, we don't read enough. Most of the time, if you everything you need to understand is probably hidden in a book for those that don't like to read.
Man.
You know what inspired me to start reading? I had a cousin and an aunt. They would read these thick Harlequin romance books.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm young and I'm like, ain't no pictures in there. How y'all read? I'm like, and I was like, look at these books this thick, no pictures or nothing there. And so I started making myself trying to read. And that's what got me used to reading and thinking that I didn't have to have images to read.
Oh.
And so that's how I'm into it. There's another book you want to get. It's called Blink.
Blink. I think I heard of that.
Good. Blink is really good. It's one of those like mind kind of books that's like telling you if there's a ball in the bat. And if you sold, how much would the bat be if it's $1.10? One of those kind of.
Oh, okay.
It's really, really, really. It's a really good book. Okay. It's really good. It helps you to think quick.
Okay, I don't think I heard of that one. Then
yeah, it's called Blink. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's thick, but it keeps you constantly, just challenging you to think. That's why they call it Blink.
Okay.
All right. So, do you have a website or anything like that you're working on for your entrepreneurship or the things you're doing?
Yeah. So we got herotechniques.org.
Okay.
And then it's the same thing for our Instagram, Hero Techniques.
How's it spelled? Is Hero.
And,
okay.
And
Hero
Techniques.
Okay.
And just no underscores, anything, just straight Hero Techniques. So,
okay.
So yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much where you can find us at.
Okay.
I guess my personal page, they can find me JT McKinnie.
If they want to read some books.
Yeah, if they want any suggestions, I got them. Trust me.
Okay.
Got a whole list.
Man, I really, really, really appreciate you coming on the podcast. This has been my first social media podcast highlight that I had. And I actually have a list of them that I'm kind of going down and finding and vetting them to make sure that it's good information to share. Trying to give us an opportunity to share our platform, because if you don't share and help the other, we're not gonna make it.
No,
we got to help each other.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it though.
Man, thank you so much for coming. You got to come back. So one of the other reasons why I brought him here, because he had a podcast that he started, and I heard that he might be thinking about starting the podcast back up, and maybe we can get him to come and be on the Old Fashioned Network.
Oh yeah,
and then he'll be sitting over there trying, doing his thing.
Oh yeah,
interviewing people. You should think about that, man.
Oh yeah,
we got a lot of shows on the network, some good shows.
Yeah.
And we're real picky about folks we let come on our TV on there. It don't, you go to Tennessee State, that's usually probably be like a strike against you, but we'll work it out.
All right. No, I definitely appreciate it though.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you all for watching Trying Success on the Old Fashioned Network. Good health inside and out. Peace.